met, or somebody you may be considering pursuing in a romantic way, or just somebody who's going to ask you out. But there's a concern that you may have as to whether or not this person's looking for something serious, or if they're just kind of playing games or, flirty, maybe looking for a situationship. And with the Two of Swords being in the reverse, I feel like there's a point where you have to make the assessment yourself, which kind of indicates that maybe they're not being fully honest with you about what they're looking for or how they like to move in regards to dating. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of Winchester. I hope you're having a good day so far. I hope you have some good weather. It's warming up here, thankfully, so I might actually be able to get outside to do some shorts for you. Otherwise, if you're interested in a personal reading, my email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. And I recently launched memberships if you're looking to get additional content, including readings that don't have ads in them, which is for the higher tiers. All right, so let's dive in with the Pulp Tarot. The last ad free one was an 18+ one that got a little bit out of hand, but it was amusing. All right, what else do we have? King of Cups in the reverse, Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. That makes sense. Regardless of the gender, remember we don't want to focus too much on that in tarot. This King of Cups in the reverse is indicative of a kind of like stalled emotional maturity or ability to connect with others in a deeper sense. With the Eight of Pentacles being in the reverse, this could be somebody who has difficulty with regards to their career, but I think it's more likely speaking to their unwillingness or kind of like, not really my thing as far as investing in relationships. So they like to keep it more like surface level, and is it like easy, right? All right. Six of Wands in the reverse, Queen of Swords. I feel like there's something that they say to you. I still think this Queen of Swords is our King of Cups. Because we got the Six of Wands in the reverse, it feels to me like they say something and they don't necessarily realize how much it falls flat with you. This could be a person who has some pretty routine approaches or things that they say or tactics, and you might be a bit more observant than their previous partners or people that they've flirted with. So I think they're a little bit overly confident with you that they can run these games and you won't pick up on it. But they say something and I feel like you know what the subtext is or whether or not they're lying. Yeah. I was just talking about this the other day. So I used to love playing Sims. I suppose I still would if it was like convenient or if I had more time. But it's whenever there's like a conversation with somebody that doesn't go the way either of us were hoping, I see those little like negative symbols like they do in Sims. Or if somebody like says something really funny or we connect because we have the same sense of humor, it's like you see those little plus signs. Yeah, I'm that nerdy. This is somebody who hears something from this prospective partner or this person they might go on a date with or literally on the date. And it's like, really? Why did you say that though? So I don't know if you can straight up honestly tell that they have lied to you or they're omitting something or they're saying something with a like goal or almost like manipulative energy. But the Six of Pentacles being in the reverse, it's like a loss. So they might actually say something that makes you at that point decide, okay, well, I'm not interested anymore, because I think it's pretty clear what your focus is. So we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse and the Page of Pentacles also in the reverse, and the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. I don't think this person expects you to pick up on the little nuances or the details as readily as you do. They speak without thinking fairly often, and I feel like they can recover pretty quickly, but only if they're dealing with somebody that, I don't know, I guess likes to be believing that kind of stuff, and you're nobody's fool. So you're not the normal like customer, if you will. They have this like script or they have this approach, and it doesn't work on you. Four of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, King of Wands in the reverse. So what you're trying to figure out while dealing with this person is, even though they may say that they're looking for monogamy or a long-term relationship or even starting a family, you are questioning that because the initial energy you pick up off of them is more of this like independent Nine of Pentacles energy, which is attractive and definitely gets attention, but it makes you feel like maybe they like that attention a little bit more than they want to admit. And then we have the King of Wands in the reverse. So this is somebody who gets, they take their self-esteem or their self-worth is maybe a little bit too dependent upon the opinions of others. So that external validation kind of leads to wanting to interact with multiple people at once or not being focused. This is the Love Oracle. What else do we have? Foundation, established, family, security, divine feminine, yin, feminine energy. The approach that you take is very different because even if you're not going to readily identify as the divine feminine, this is indicative of you being able to have that emotional intimacy or that connection. So you have been through a lot, you've healed, you know how to communicate. And I feel like that's also why you're so good at picking up on those little details when people communicate, or, you know, maybe you read their body language really well. You know what you're looking for. And if they don't seem to have that desire for companionship or security the way you do, I do think that you act on that, right? Like, maybe we're not really like on the same page here. I do also feel a pretty strong pull to the family word on foundation. So you either are working towards starting your own family, or you have a very strong family like support network. And that enables you to be, I think, making a little bit better decisions because you've got people that call you out if you waste time on people that aren't worth it. Longing, craving, aching, wanting, and mistakes, misunderstood, victim, and lost soul. There have been mistakes in the past. I mean, we all have those, right? But I do think that after dealing with people that didn't have the best of intentions towards you, you're now at a point where you feel like you've done the healing that you need to. You want that companionship. You're just going to make sure that you keep in mind, or, you know, that you don't forget what's happened in the past that maybe you could have prevented if you'd been paying attention to those red flags. So I feel like this is confirmation for someone who's already picked up on those red flags, or already, observing that maybe this person isn't necessarily being honest. This could be somebody who lives at a distance from you. Maybe they seek out, you know, people in different states or something like that, because that distance enables them to have a little bit more of that independence. Or maybe they travel a lot. Maybe they like that you travel a lot. They want this only you energy between the two of you, but there's something here about not wanting to invest. So it feels kind of like, I want what I want, but I don't really have a lot to offer you. Okay, well, Dollar General's right up the road. Let's go with the Noisy Tarot. What else do we have? Three of Cups in the reverse. Four of Swords. Three of Swords. This is somebody who does tend to have two people that they talk to at the same time. So we have the Three of Cups, the Three of Swords, but then also I'm very focused on the fact that there are three swords on the wall. So this is like three's a crowd. Hello, Kevin. How are you doing? Good morning. And I do think that they have actually kind of broken their own heart playing these games. With the Four of Swords, this is somebody who I think avoids commitment because they are still heartbroken over somebody in the past. And maybe that's why they are nervous to like put all their eggs in one basket or focus on one person. We've got the Hanged Man, and I feel like this is your energy. Something about feeling pulled towards companionship, wanting something real, but feeling like what you have observed of this person that, you know, you kind of like. I don't think you've fallen in love. I think you realize maybe this is a sign of what's to come. Hello, Archetype. How are you doing? Another three. Three of Wands. So I've gotten 3 threes out of 6 cards, and there's 78 total. That's impressive. Three of Wands is about taking action. Ace of Swords in the reverse. I think this is you trying to decide, because the Hanged Man is about indecisiveness, or like kind of trying to figure out, okay, let me just think about things. Let me make sure that I haven't read this wrong. I think you're worried that you're being too judgmental. You might be a little concerned that your reaction time to somebody giving you one of those like negative symbols, one of those, it feels like you're lying to me. I think you're a little bit worried that that is a bit too easy to set off. Like, I really just want to make sure I'm not overreacting. Let me see what else I figure out about this person, but it seems to me like they might be dishonest. Hello, Marky. How are you doing? Good morning. Nine of Swords in the reverse. The Hierophant. And the Five of Pentacles. So it looks to me like you are not worried about being in a relationship. Yeah, there's going to be little nerves or little, things that you want to make sure go right, but you are looking to like dive in, right? This other person, they are still dealing with like some sort of heartbreak from their past. And with the Five of Pentacles, I'm getting they feel like they're in the Five of Pentacles from somebody else. They may have been blocked, but it also means they're in this pattern where they routinely put people in the Five of Pentacles. For some of you, I'm not going to lie, this is you. You're the one who does this. Please don't hate me. But I think for the majority of you, you're this Hanged Man energy who's saying, based on what I see from what you're talking about and how you're acting, it seems like you want this, but you're not able to actually put in the work for it, or you routinely run away from that type of connection. So I think a conversation is going to have to happen, and it could be a shorter one where you're just like, hey, this isn't working out. Or you may want to like dive in a little bit more and understand what's actually going on with this person. Hello, each one teach one. How are you doing? Thank you. The Moon in the reverse. Queen of Swords. and Strength in the reverse. Yeah, I think they're hiding something. But the thing is, look, I think you both have this Queen of Swords energy. I think you both are a bit protective, maybe even to some extent, like overly protective. But the person you're dealing with has underestimated your observation skills, or maybe they don't know that you're basically a little bit of a lie detector. And there's this weakness of theirs, and you are like, you know it. They can try to disguise it or lie about it. It's like, okay, this is such a weird analogy, but it's like they're wearing something knockoff, right? Like, I don't know, fake Supreme or something like that. Is that a thing? It's gotta be. And they think that they can like impress you with this like knockoff stuff. And it's like, no, that's like completely the wrong approach. And I can tell it's fake. It's like they're trying to impress you. And I feel like whatever tactic they're using is woefully inept. Sorry. What's up, Bumface? I hope you're having a good one. Yeah, since I had a later than usual reading last night, I figured I'd do an earlier. That's probably backwards. I shouldn't be doing like clopins to myself. But I just figured it'd be nice to have a earlier in the morning one. So shocked to see the Knight of Wands in the reverse, because that is the garden tool card. That is the, hey, you're really attractive. You want to go hang out on a nude beach? This is somebody who is more interested in those kind of like shallow connections, superficial connections. Let's talk about ourselves for a little bit, and then I'll forget about you in a month, that kind of thing. With the Wheel of Fortune being in the reverse, I think because you pick up on this energy, because you're able to discern that, they end up losing their opportunity with you. So I see you pulling back from this person after picking up on those signs that another King of Wands in the reverse and a Queen of Swords in the reverse. You feel like this person's a liar. I think you respect their intelligence, but you see that they use those smarts to kind of create an illusion for people to buy into and hope that they like fall in love or, you know, get naked. I'm just going to say that. But I don't like this energy at all. Okay. Pretty much all negative until we get to the Ace of Pentacles here. Knight of Wands in the reverse is impulsive or unreliable. That could also be like hoish tendencies, I'm just going to say. Wheel of Fortune being in the reverse. This is somebody who I think refuses to change, but is also letting a loss that happened in their life dictate how they treat other people. And that's why they are unreliable or maybe a little bit too self-absorbed. And they lie about their intentions, because this is clarifying the moon in the reverse. That can indicate somebody who has hidden intentions or a hidden objective. Like, I really hate that phrase, but what's coming through is hit it and quit it. The Ace of Pentacles is clarifying the Queen of Swords, which I feel is your Queen of Swords. The other one, maybe the other person. But we just have an opportunity, and it looks to me like there's a new person that is like waiting to have an opportunity with you. But first you have to let go of the garden tool. Sorry. So this Fool card, this is about new, right? New chapter, new people, new approaches, and it's with the Ace of Pentacles. So this reading is about you acknowledging and then talking about how something is not working out for you so that you are available for something that does actually match what you're looking for. This blessing or this new beginning is somebody who is actually looking for what you are and on your level. Nine of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. This is somebody who's looking to let go of being single. They want to be in a relationship. So this is swinging wildly to the other side. Be honest if you feel you're not interested in somebody or you're getting weird vibes, because as long as you are able to not get caught up or stuck in a connection that doesn't really feel right to you. When you call it on this garden tool, you're able to usher in or manifest a connection where this person really does want to be in a relationship with you, where they really do make you feel those warm fuzzies and it feels more genuine. Yeah, Queen of Wands, manifestation. So look, the power that you have is increased when you do the right thing, when you get a sense of, yeah, that wasn't easy, but I did it anyways. And it was out of like love or respect for myself. That's when you get this power as the Queen of Wands. It acts as like a beacon or draws in that love that you do deserve. So there's, I think, a lot of times where we run into a karmic test. It's okay, you say you've learned this lesson. Let's put it like to work in your life. Let's see you, reject someone that doesn't deserve to be with you. And then that tells the universe that you're ready for something real. This is the situation stack. Retaliation, punish, payback, revenge. Meeting, 2 or more people, discussions, planning, and tragedy, forbidden love. I do think that for this person that is not serious about a relationship, they have some sort of meetup, or I suppose it could be like a phone call, but I think it's in person with the person who broke their heart. I think part of the reason they are unable to be serious about a relationship with someone new is because they are still thinking back on this 3 of Swords, somebody from their past that really broke their heart. But once you acknowledge this and let go of this, you change the path or you choose something better. Because now we've got the unconditional love and the commitment card. This hamster wheel is saying, don't settle for something less. I'm very focused on the hustle part. If you let go of the hustler, you let go of a person who likes to, tell you what you want to hear, then you meet somebody different. There could also be some financial issues that this person's dealing with. So it feels to me like this new person resolves those financial issues because they want to have this commitment, right? So they may be in the midst of finding a new job. They may have just started a new job. They may be just moved somewhere else. But this person wants to fall in love. They're working on their money. And I think most of you have not met this person yet. We've got Ascension. When you let go of the garden tool, when you decide you want something better than that, that's when things change. But we also have legal, court, paperwork filed, and financial support. So it feels to me like there's something changing for the person who really does want to be in a relationship, the new person that you haven't met yet. I feel like they're dealing with something on paper, a legal situation, maybe a lease, maybe even a divorce that's getting finalized. But this is somebody who, or a sale of a property. They're a little bit low on money right now. It could also be an inheritance, but things get better. So I feel like they've been kind of holding off on dating until their money got right. This is the Pause Tarot. I'll see what Also, I don't know how well you can see my shirt, but how closely resembling that Nice little sombrero, skeleton face. Works out pretty nicely. The Chariot in the reverse and the Fool. So you got to put the brakes on somebody that you know is not right for you, and then that brings in or that triggers a new connection. A King of Wands in the upright. Remember, the other one came out in the reverse twice. Again, don't get too caught up on gender. So there's somebody who likes to do the pursuing, or this is somebody who is quite confident, somebody who has made a lot of changes in their life with the goal of getting to a point where they can be in a serious relationship. This is somebody who has gone through a spiritual awakening. We did have the Ascension card. So they are enlightened. They do. I think the way that they talk is going to make it clear to you that this is somebody that you would take seriously in terms of pursuing a relationship. And they do come across as very genuine. With this King of Cups, we have that emotional maturity that you were looking for that the first person did not offer. Knight of Cups. Judgment in the reverse. There's a little bit of a heads up that you want to not judge this person too quickly, because there is a chance that for some of you, they make an offer, and because of this most recent situation with the garden tool, you may just kind of be like, no, not another person. Humans are not high on my list right now. But this is an invitation you are encouraged to accept. So in other words, don't be a negative Nancy just because somebody decided to be a garden tool. That's actually a pretty common choice for a lot of people. And we got to hope that they get through that and that they heal from that. But doesn't mean that you should avoid or judge unfairly the other people that you encounter in your life, because there are people who are going through that spiritual awakening and working on themselves, right? Hello, Vichitata. Hello, Stephen. How we doing? We have Justice, Ace of Wands, a new person that wants to do right by you. If you'd like that, go ahead, raise your hands. This is saying, yeah, no, we heard you. You said you wanted somebody who was actually serious. You said you wanted somebody that would be able to communicate in an honest way. So we're sending it to you. You just have to, take it seriously. This is somebody who's been through a pretty significant change. So as you get to know this new person, they are going to, at some point while you are doing the initial getting to know each other thing, they're going to tell you about a pretty significant change that they've gone through. This could be moving to another country. This could be having a complete change in terms of their career, going through a divorce, grieving somebody. But this is something that has changed them at a fundamental level. And that's a pretty big reason why we have emotional maturity from this person, because they have walked a pretty difficult path and found their way out to the other side, where they're a bit more compassionate and able to understand others. Morning, Michael. How's it going? Nine of Wands being in the reverse makes me feel like you are close to giving up. So that's why we have this reading. Yes, you are dealing with somebody who is not as open or as genuine in terms of their intentions. But as soon as you let go of that, or, deal with that situation, there's a new person that is wanting to invest in the way that you do. So 7 of Pentacles, keep an open mind and use that discernment, because if there's somebody that comes along that is a good fit for you, you don't want to just assume that they're a jerk like that other one. I'm glad to hear it, Michael. This is What's the News. Let's see what else we've got for you. Reading up, doing the research, learning more, gaining insight, memories, missing someone, regression, revisiting the past. This is the person that you're observing, the garden tool. You realize that they're still hung up on somebody, or that they still have some healing that they need to do because they're carrying baggage from a previous situation. You just needed a little bit of time to figure this person out, or you needed a little bit of time to speak on the intuition that you feel. There is definitely chemistry with this person, but I feel like they're just a little bit too comfortable in the passion area, but not really comfortable when it comes to emotions. Lift off, fast action, progression forward, the wait is over, and fed up. So things move quickly once you communicate that you're not interested in somebody that doesn't want to pursue an actual relationship. You can tell that they're still, looking backwards, hoping for somebody from the past to come back around. But you're serious. This says on the hunt. You want to be with somebody who wants to be in a relationship, and if they aren't about it, then you're cool with walking away. All right, let's see. This is the Fairy Lenormand. What else do we have? The Sun, number 31. It's the happiest card. And the bouquet. So you, my friend, have kissed a few frogs. You have definitely dealt with people who were not serious or lied about their intentions. But now we have somebody that's going to make you very happy. This is going to be somebody who acknowledges what you have to offer, and they're very excited about it, or they see your worth, right? This is somebody who, like I said, they've been through a dark night of the soul. They have ascended. And when they message or communicate with you, you're going to feel like that, like warmth of dealing with somebody that you know you can trust. This is not somebody who's looking to like lie about their intentions or their past. They may be shockingly honest with you about things that have happened in the past that have not been I don't think they're very shy about telling you the difficult lessons that they've learned. They'll be like brutally honest with you, like, here's what happened in the past, but I've learned from it. Hello, Taryn, how are you doing? Interesting question. I'm sure your intuition will help you. Imprisonment in the reverse and coffin. All right. So for some of you, there may be a tendency to avoid the ending conversation. So this imprisonment in the reverse is don't put somebody on a back burner. Don't keep somebody kind of interested. If you know that there is no interest here, you want to make sure that you end that, because it's probably not going to actually, like, if you know there's no future, don't pretend that there is, basically. Mature man and expectation. And because of your maturity, there's an ability to draw in somebody that's on your level. You've done the work. You have good karma. You have that gravitational pull as the Queen of Wands, regardless of what your gender is, because you're also coming out as this mature man. But because you know what you deserve, because you know what you've been through, you aren't going to settle. And that's why you need to be communicative with this person who's the garden tool and let them go. But then you find somebody who is also, I think, quite mature and able to have very intellectually stimulating conversations with you, or they're very interested in the same lifestyle as you. But family room is in the reverse. So I feel like this is somebody who, oddly enough, I feel like this is somebody who's not really your regular type. So there could be something that is a bit unusual for you. I gotta fix this. Can you see the S now? A little bit. I knocked it over last time. All right, what else do we want? I'm gonna go with the Tarot of the Nile. What else do we have? Eight of Swords in the reverse. And Strength, 2 8s. One in the reverse, one in the upright. So you got to keep moving. Don't get stuck. I do think you've already learned this lesson. Oh, this person's like 75% of what I want in a relationship or in a person. So I could just like hang out with them for a little bit until I get irritated with them. And then I'll like, kick them to the curb or whatever. Look, that's how it is sometimes, I suppose. But the universe is saying, if you know somebody is not your cup of tea, then, get what you really do want. Obviously, Dr. Pepper. This is something you've learned over time. I'm not going to get caught up and waste time on somebody that I know I don't have a future with. So I will communicate to them that I'm not interested. And because you do that, because you have the strength to do that, that's why you've got this 10 of Cups coming into you. There's a person who really does want that long-term relationship. But if you don't end the other chapter, this one can't begin. So you got to make sure that you deal with any situations that didn't have closure or where you didn't communicate that you were not interested. 9 of Swords in the reverse. Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. If you don't communicate that, if you stay and deal with this garden tool a little bit longer than you know you should, you may end up losing out on that 10 of Cups. So do not dilly-dally, okay? I know, they're probably hot, but it's okay. Hello, James. Hello, Lemonade. How are we doing? Wait, Bumface, are you saying that's not how you do it? Hello, Caroline. How are you doing? What else do we have? Quickly here. 6 of Swords in the reverse and the Hanged Man. Do not pretend that you haven't made your mind up about somebody. If you have that gut feeling, if you know it's just not going to be a thing, then cut them loose. I've told this story a few times, but I had a situation where I tried to break up with somebody. They talked me out of it, which is never a good idea. And for like another week, I was like, okay, I'll try to make this work. And I had a stomach ache the entire time because my body was like, this is wrong. You tried to break up with them. So then I broke up a second time a week later because I just hated even like being around this person. It's like, why would you want to do that to yourself? So don't get stuck. Don't sit around and deal with somebody that isn't right for you. If you know that it's not right for you, keep it moving. Page of Pentacles in the reverse and the Knight of Swords in the reverse because this person is a liar. Just going to say that. Whoever this King of Cups in the reverse is, the kind of like garden tool variety, this is a person that is comfortable looking you in your face and saying one thing when they know that that's not the truth, or they know that it's because that's, what will get you to stay a little bit longer. You're smarter than that. If you lie to me, to my face, I can generally pick up on those clues, right? Maybe even if you're not face to face, but you're this King of Swords, okay? You're too smart to be letting people lie to your face and pretending that it sounds good. You know when they're lying. Now, do you have to be like, you're a liar? No, but you have to make your decisions based on those observations. Oh, yeah, I feel that. All right, this is the Jack-o'-lantern tarot. Let's see what else we got about this new person, shall we? They're really hitting home the idea that if you don't like someone, you have to tell them. Well, another Queen of Swords and Justice. So heavy on the air energy. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. But this is also about communication. So that makes a lot of sense, right? Air signs are about, or that energy is about communication, intelligence, a little bit more of head over heart. And there's an acknowledgement that this person's lying. This person isn't being super direct. So don't put up with that. You're too good to be hanging out with somebody who thinks it's cool to lie to your face. So I do think that this puts you back into the dating pool, or you go back out, you hang out with some friends, maybe you even tell them what happened. But you've got somebody here who introduces you or is instrumental in terms of meeting this new person. And it could be somebody who is also frustrated with a recent experience. So in other words, I'm kind of seeing like two buddies or two friends are just like going out because they're recently frustrated by the low caliber interaction. Four of Wands in the reverse and the Lovers. Yeah. I think you have somebody else that you're able to hang out with, or somebody that you're able to commiserate with, or maybe even you start flirting with somebody random, and that's who you end up talking about, low vibrational BS with. But I see you being able to laugh about it, see you being able to just kind of like, whatever, life is that way sometimes. And then you pivot. You want to let that go. You don't want to stay in that energy. Tower, Eight of Swords in reverse is you moving on. You are so much quicker at this, and it's not in an unhealthy way. You're able to acknowledge this isn't for me. Whatever's meant for me will be for me. So why do I need to get all like uppity about it? If it doesn't work, that just means something else will work for me. So don't give up on love or your being happy. And be proud of yourself, because you're focused on getting what you want. You're not going to end up in those old patterns like you used to. You're not going to get stuck in something with somebody where you're trying to figure out if they're being honest. You already called it. So there's a new beginning with somebody who does invest with this Eight of Pentacles. This could be somebody who has been a little bit of a workaholic recently, but they make you an offer and you're a little hesitant, but they are genuine. We've got the Six of Swords. It's like, no. This is where things get better because you're using that intuition, right? All right, let's get a few from the Romance Angel Oracle. And then we'll call it a day because I'm getting hungry. What else do we have? Ooh, that card made it all the way over there and I didn't even notice it. Seven of Cups in the reverse from the Tarot of the Nile. So your ability to see through people's illusions is quite good. Rely on that. Trust it. So give your relationship a chance. Don't run away from this new person too quickly just because you're still frustrated over what happened with the previous person. I don't know. Honestly, it's probably going to be like a cereal bar because I want to go to the park and record shorts. And then we have trust. So this is somebody who is trustworthy after you've dealt with a number of people that were not trustworthy. So you got to have the ability to bounce back. And just as important as it is for you to use your discernment to determine when somebody is lying to you, so too is it important for you to leverage it to remind yourself that, okay, maybe this person's actually genuine. Let go of control issues. You may be tempted to boot this person who's actually a really good match for you. We've got the True Love card. So don't let how you feel about somebody else that you've recently dealt with impact your willingness to be open to somebody who does want to do right by you. This is quite the reading, and I feel like it's going to be on, I don't know, I feel like it applies to a lot of you. But thank you for the likes and the subscribes, and I hope to see you on my next reading. Doodles!